So the next technique we're going to be looking at here is the chop. Now, Fairburn was huge on the chop. Even guys who continued to teach after Fairburn was no longer teaching, Carl Sestori, guys like that, they're all huge on the chop. You look at defendo, you look at gutter fighting. Defendo, by the way, kind of gutter fighting grew into defendo ultimately, but that's kind of beside the point. Now, the chop is like huge. Fairburn was really big on it, and the reason that he was big on it, again, natural human reaction. So maybe me and Brendan are in kind of a confrontation here. We're not duking it out yet, but I know that he's about to really get aggressive, and I don't want any part of it. Now, it's important to be aware of something here. The chop, like if I'm chopping into the throat, that's a very serious implication here. I can't just chop him in the throat because he's being a prick. I have to be able to have reasonable suspicion that I need to take him out quickly. So in the case of Fairburn, it would be like an enemy combatant. Maybe you're surrendering and then you chop him in the throat and you have to, you know, either flee or continue on that fight. Or in this case, maybe I have reason to believe that he has a knife in his pocket and he's reaching for it and I can see it. At that point, what I would go ahead and do is blah, 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 we're aggressive. Boom! Ah! At that point, it's a natural human reaction. See what he's doing with his hands. They come up here. It's going to protect his windpipe, protect his airflow, protect his airway. That's just what's going to happen, generally speaking, 9 times out of 10 up here. Perfect. That's perfect for me, and that's perfect for you because, boom, we chop him. Look what happens. His center line is completely open. I can throw a knee right into his groin. Again, I can chop him. Boom. I can come down with a hammer fist directly on top of his nose. Even if you see how he turned his head like that, boom, maybe, boom, I chop him one, right? He leans back, he turns his head. He's smart. It doesn't matter. We can still come on the jaw, get him right in that sweet spot here. And now, here into the sinuses. My Muay Thai teacher was actually telling me the other day, all of his experience, if you throw an elbow right into the sinus cavities here, they're going to sleep. And it is, from what I understand, medically speaking, being an EMT, fairly true that if you were to get someone in the hollow points of their sinus cavities here, so boom, I chop them, boom, I come here, maybe that didn't get them right away, boom, I come again with the sinus cavities, that's another very desirable place to strike. So maybe he's a real tough SOB. So I chop him one, boom, he's come back here, and I can't get him. Well, that's fine, I've still got that, boom, knee into the groin. So there's many ways and many methods of doing it. But the chop is highly effective. So even if he's like wiling out and he's, oh, crap, boom, and I'm able to come in here and get him in this throat. And this kind of almost turns into a chin jab. You'll notice, boom, I get him here. Maybe he's put his chin down. I can't get that, right? It doesn't matter because now I can come in and start working that face. Press on the head control, head control, head control. So it doesn't matter. Now I'm starting to push him back. I'm getting aggressive as well. Remember what we were talking about before? Small the back. Boom, same method. He goes down. You either can go down with him, execute a nice strike. You can back away, or like we were talking about before, stomp the ankles, stomp the knees, stomp the rib cage, stomp the head. So if B-Bait gets up real quick, again, what this might look like, he's aggressive. I know it. I don't want any part of it. Maybe he throws a punch. Boom. Chop him in the throat. Boom. Get him in the balls there. At that point, maybe you throw a hammer fist, push him back, push him down, run away. So that's the chop. Now, we'll go into the chop in a little bit more detail here in a minute. So stand by. Let's take a look. But for right now, when you train this stuff, it's going to look like this. I want him to give you a reaction. Now, it's important that you don't stop here. Because if you stop here continuously, guess what's going to happen when you really need to use this? You might come back and stop. So what I want you to do is, if you can manage this, practice making contact, but be very cautious about it. Don't hit him. Just touch. And at that point, what you can do, take that lead knee, throw it straight up. Boom, boom. Then push his head back, something like that. So let's take a look in more fine detail about how to execute these chops in the proper method and manner. So when you're working this chop, it's important to realize something. A lot of guys I've seen out there will go and they'll throw the chop with their arm. Okay, if you're striking somewhere that's like the throat, maybe. But when we're chopping someone to the throat, we're assuming that they're extremely violent threat already. We're not messing around here, and we don't want to just tap them. Tapping them with the arm is not going to get the desired outcome that we want. We want an injury. We don't want to strike him. We want to injure him. And we want to ultimately incapacitate him. So when we're throwing the chop, it's going to look more like this. We're stepping all into it. Notice my lead foot there. It stepped as I chopped. I'm throwing my whole body weight into his throat. And it's a little surface area. It's a little area to aim all of your body weight. So not only are you stepping into it, but you're bringing your whole body and your whole centrifugal force into this chop. Therefore maximizing, I'm like 180 pounds. I'm bringing 180 pounds into a throat, into a trachea. That's going to damage it to the point where more than likely it will start to close up and swell. And he's not going to be doing well after that. Boom, I come here. And that's what we're doing. Sometimes you might also like to train it not from a bladed stance, like a boxing stance. Boom, we throw it there. Boom. A lot of times you can also train it from a squared off stance, because a squared off stance is more of a neutral stance, more of, it doesn't necessarily look like we're about to fight. Maybe you bring your lead foot, whether that's right or left, whether you're orthodox or southpaw, doesn't really matter. Maybe you bring it a little slightly forward to help you. But when you're training it like this and you're in a squared off stance, what you can do is bring your whole body weight. Now notice how in that particular strike, I was pronated a little bit too much forward. So I started to go forward. Not a problem. That's what you want to do anyway. So if Bibe puts down the mitt real quick, and we're doing this like it would be, even though I'm pronated forward and I fall into him a little bit, that's exactly what I want to do anyway. I want to get in so that he can't hit me anymore. If I'm in this way, and we'll have him move back a little bit here. If I come here and now I'm in here, I've got his hands trapped nice. I've got maximum ability to do damage without maximum ability for him to do damage back to me. I am on the offensive at this point. So again, boom, I fall into him. It's good because I'm going to throw a knee strike into his groin, a knee strike into his groin. Maybe I come here, strike with a hammer fist. Maybe I decide I'm a high school wrestler and I want to go ahead and get those doubles on him or something. But the science of fighting, and this isn't necessarily Fairburn, this is more of a modern take on it, MMA type deal, but you want to be as close into him as possible. Now Fairburn was big at moving into your opponent. All military combative systems are. That double was more of kind of an MMA thing. But to continue on with these chops, if we're training this from a squared off stance, all we want to do is throw our whole body weight into it, stepping into it. So as before, we had that kind of boxing stance and we stepped with our lead foot. In this case, we're squared off into it. We're just stepping still with our lead foot, but we're stepping our whole body weight into it still. So hopefully I'm explaining that properly enough to you guys. Let me know in the comments if I could have made it a little bit better or a little bit clearer. But squared off stance, one foot comes forward and we step into it. Bladed stance, the lead foot comes forward and we step into it. But we're still stepping into it either way. Boom, we're bringing that fight to him. Bringing him down and taking him out of the fight. So that's the chop. It's going to look like, oh crap, boom, and we chop and we kind of move off and we move in. So that's the chop. Now also with these chops, it doesn't have to be to the throat at all. Carl Sestari, and I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, was big on chopping to the side of the head. He chopped to the bridge of the nose, to the face. He would even chop down on the arms. And I know Fairburn was big on that too. So if Brendan grabs my throat, right, cool. Boom, I chop down on the arm. There's like, I believe it's the ulnar nerve that travels around here. Boom, you chop down here. Boom, you chop into the throat. So again, we were talking, and we'll talk probably more in detail about jamming the choke. But Brendan grabs me, and he's really grabbed me around the throat. So natural human reaction, as I did a video about this just a few days ago, is people, I want to grab this and I want to rip it off. Good freaking luck trying to rip this off. Brendan's like crazy strong. I'm not going to be able to. All I want to be able to do here is put my chin down so that he's having more of a difficult time squeezing my air supply, and just get enough space so I can take that one deep breath that I need to channel my energy. So again, he's choking me, and he's choking me pretty hard. I'm jamming the choke. I'm trying to get my chin down. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. I'm just trying to jam it enough so that I can get that one deep breath, that panic breath. From there, I chop down, and boom, I chop him to the face. If that was the other arm, so yeah, my other arm, I'm sorry, dude. So, boom, I jam, boom, I chop here, boom, I chop to the throat, boom, I chop to the face. But I just keep chopping him again and again. And look, you can't chop him to death.
But what you can do, boom, oh shit, I jam it. I try to get a little breath, panic breath. Boom, I chop. Then from there, you know, we can come in here, go with an arm lock. Fairburn was big on that, so the arm lock might look like, Fairburn was big on this, straight arm bar. Usually when you start coming in to straight arm bar them, they're gonna go like this and kind of try to protect themselves. No problem, because we can also come in and put our weight down and get them here. We can turn that into kind of more of a bent arm bar. If we take it into today's times, we can even turn it into almost like a Kimura or something like that. But in any case, just focusing on these chops here, boom, 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 boom. We turn it into a closed fist, we take the fight to him.